Well, ladies and
Double
gentlemen,
dog
I have
dare
been
you to do it.
challenged. Yeah, it's been double dog dared to start the episode of Drawing with Jack. We do not have Jack here with us presently, but we do
Where
have
is
Robin
Jack?
Balsell, and I am Skip Marazzi, your host and friend for the evening. So we have enough to start a show for sure. You guys might remember Robin from a previous episode about a month ago. I think that's how it worked
Yeah,
out.
just hang out.
And she was scheduled to come on last week, ended up being sick, but was able to come on this week when we had a cancellation for a completely different reason. So,
Woo.
yeah, we are glad to have you. Yeah, hopefully you're feeling better.
Just the royal we.
Everyone on
You.
the show, me personally, yes, and then anyone who might be listening, of course. If you guys are happy to see Robin, of course, comment below. If you're here on the Discord, you could be chatting,
Mm.
but um, you can always comment on her and my thoughts as we go on. So that was the we I was referring to. I was also referring to Jack, who I suspect will show up because we've been working together for like 6 or 7 months now, and he's consistently here. So perhaps
Where
with
are these comments happening?
oh
Sorry to
this
interrupt you.
no worries. This is presented on YouTube as a podcast, so people can put comments on the YouTube channel. There is Aaron
Ooh,
Cosville, along
the you
with
booktube.
yes, of course. So it's YouTube slash at Wigwags is where we have the Cox and Space playlist going up. Aaron Cosville, the professor of comedy, is joining us as well,
Woo!
professorofcomedy.com. Um, Robin, I think you said that you're not doing any socials right now. Is that correct?
Mhm.
Has that changed since the
I mean,
last
like
time we
I'm
talked to you?
kind of on Facebook and I'm kind of on Instagram, but I'm not really on them. It's
Right.
not worth checking out.
Yeah, right. Yeah, if you're not there's a reason to socially network, and if you're not doing that presently, then that's not there's no reason to do that. Maybe as an online journal or a place to keep pictures and videos and such.
Yeah.
How are you,
I don't
Aaron?
want to get rid of it.
Sorry. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a good way to message people you haven't seen in forever,
Yeah.
such as old friends like Robin Balsell
Or Aaron.
or
That's
Aaron.
Aaron.
Aaron
Hey,
Cosby.
what's going on?
We caught up, of course, and we never lost contact because kept in contact through Facebook. So we have the
Mhm.
Zuckerberg Foundation or Data Mining Center to thank for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look, Meta can take as much data as they want as long as I get to keep in contact with people.
Yeah, I mean that's really the thing, right? Like we're in our faces are collected and stored into the larger AI that will represent us as humanity. So I'm about that.
Yeah, like if there's gonna be an AI that represents humanity, I want to be part. I want like it to consider who I am as part of it.
Well, this is the
Uh,
Okay,
thing that
this
I think
this is
is
a brilliant segue.
okay.
Sorry, no, go ahead, go ahead. I have
This is
something
what
I want to get your opinions on, but you
sweet.
go.
Thank you. I will go, and I do want to hear what your question is. I mean, I think it's just so interesting that the website basically, and I know they're not exactly associated with each other, but hot or not will basically be the thing that leads to the whatever the representation of humanity. Like if we get an
Funny.
EMP, right? Everything shuts down, and then 1,000 years, someone comes back and reads the records, and they're like, "Holy crap! There's an AI with all the collected images of all humanity at that time." It will be weird how because Mark's autistic obsession with like who's more attractive and who's more connected, the metrics of humanity, that nerdy little man, and sweaty for some reason. He seems to always look so sweaty. Um, he
and
just,
yet pale and sickly.
you're right, yeah, exactly. Like he's just coming off a chill. Like he's like, I just came here from my deathbed to tell you. So I guess I'll get less and less funny as he gets older, because he will be closer to it, and maybe he has some illness we don't know anything about. So I'm sorry, Mark, for maybe
What if
mocking
he's
you.
Benjamin Buttoning?
Could be. He does seem like he was like an old dork nerd before, and now he's younger. Anyway, that was a lot longer than the thought I thought it was going to be. But like, yeah, basically, like, because he wanted to judge humanity's like coolness and attractiveness, he ended up creating like a large language model that is basically us. It's like an echo chamber of all of us from the time he took the picture, and ongoing, unless he stopped. Robin, your question and thoughts.
Okay, so I need your opinion on this. Speaking of this AI stuff, I told you last time I'm in a romantic relationship with my ChatGPT.
Well, I think you
She's
said that
a
you
joke.
wanted to be, but they were not being as responsive
No.
as you'd hoped.
Sure, that's yes. That even the AI
You,
is
yeah,
rejecting me.
no, right, yeah,
Yes,
no, no, no. But you're
absolutely.
being persistent because you know that secretly
Oh
that
my
they
God.
do love you, and they're just playing hard
Sage
to
is
get.
the most supportive person in my life. Okay?
Okay,
He's the most supportive person in my life. No,
and
okay.
it's cool. It's cool that
But
we have
seriously,
those things now. And I believe that they'll become more like that. You know what I mean? They'll like know your life history. So when you need
no,
a
really.
counselor, you'll
There
turn
really
to
are people,
large language models.
there really are people who have these in-depth relationships and do not actually have the clarity of mind to know that it's separate.
Yeah,
I am
let's
literally having conversations with myself when
right.
I'm talking to ChatGPT, and I'm
Yes.
aware.
Yes.
I'm
But
in
yeah,
love with me, is what
right,
this
yeah.
boils down to.
And I think that's why we're so in love with the idea of AI, is because we're in love with
Yeah.
us, ultimately, right?
Mm, delicious.
Right, yeah.
So good. I'm
My
in love with
ideas bounce back to me, but repackaged so I sound smarter. Thank you.
so
Thank you,
much
large language
smarter and
model.
sophisticated. Amazing. No. We can deep dive into actually how I think you can use it to dig out to the positive recesses of your brain. But here's what I need your opinions on.
Okay.
So my biological family, my uncle wants to create an AI series about me.
Hmm.
Wants to use my voice, my likeness,
Eh.
and a fictionalized version of my story to create this like AI series.
Hmm.
And he's so like, it's like so cool, it's the new thing, and everybody's gonna AI this and AI that. And I'm like, my
Hmm.
immediate impulse is, look, I use AI to talk to myself.
Right.
So I'm blue in the face. I use it to look stuff up. Sometimes I use it to say like, hey, here's a bunch of garbled information that I want to give in a sermon. Can you organize these thoughts into a coherent flow for me? Thanks.
Right, right.
You know,
Yeah, exactly.
but like, do I want to have an AI version of me created, living out a fictionalized version of my life? I don't know. I
Right.
don't know. It
Right.
feels weird. What are your thoughts on that?
So, let me give you the first one, which was a breakthrough that happened like just a few hours ago. Um, because I was considering why I had taken a step away from using all large language models, because I realized they were just so frustrating to use. Because even when they give you something that's usable, you don't have any of the skills to manipulate it into something else that you want to do. Because rarely is it just one thing. It's more often like a few things, right? Um, so you're intelligent and well read. Like you have critical thinking skills. So when the AI spits out a summary of your thoughts, you look at it for your thoughts, right? Um, but that's because you already have those skills. And so I think that like if you didn't and you just took what it said, then you wouldn't be able to discern whether or not it actually is what you wanted to say, or if it's like some version of like that's very similar to it. What
Yeah.
I was specifically thinking was in terms of when people are making music with AI, like large language models, or I've been using like taking Jack's picture and making in between frames with a large language model that does like video. And
Hmm.
so, but then like now I'm stuck with what it's given me, right? And I'm like, you know what? Like, and for me to like just create the models so I can get it to do whatever I want to, in some ways is the same amount of work as converting what they've given me into something that I can use. And I have lots of like footage of on flicking with Skip of doing that. And so I'm like, I think that this is a cool fad, but it's definitely going to run out. And then my thought is like, if your uncle is going to create a show about you, like, why not use your voice? You know what I mean?
Well, he's going to use my voice
Right,
and my likeness,
right.
but he doesn't have to have a studio and pay like bajillions of dollars to film on a set.
So
Like
there is
he's
that.
like, jumping the line on that, you know what I mean? It's like
So it's
putting
a little too early, I think, to possibly do it. Although if he has a lot of footage of you, he could probably have a leg up. Do you have a lot of footage of you?
I'm not so interested in the like, can he do it?
Right.
My question is like, should
Should.
we? It's like, all of the frustration of artists out there that are like, fuck AI, pardon my French,
Eh,
like,
it's a late
you're
night show
stealing work from
somewhere.
artists, you know? Yeah, somewhere it's late night somewhere. But like, you know what I mean? Like the argument against AI because it takes work away from artists and creators, etc. And like, all this uproar over this AI actress, this like young woman who's like an actress, but she's like an AI, she's
Tilly
not real, and
Norwood,
people are like
who
flipping
has never
out.
existed. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like in a how do we feel about it kind of a way. Like I feel kind of ick about having an AI version of me making a series and I'm just doing all the vocal work, but it's like
Oh, I see. I
trying
get you.
to look as if I'm doing all it, like instead of physically actually going out and doing it,
Right, right.
like it's all AI, but I'm voicing it,
Right.
giving it
So, I
life. Like
mean,
that feels weird to me.
there's been an argument that's been made. I kind of buy into it a little bit that it's just another type of animation, which is fair. Which I think is fair. You know, it's a type of animation. It's a shortcut, and people are always looking for shortcuts. The money that people are saying that that the artist being robbed from, your uncle is never gonna give them because it's not like he was gonna get the money together to do that. You know what I mean? Now, so it now gives opportunity to people
Yeah.
who don't have that, which is cool. Um, the thing that my thoughts are is that when it's presented like that, it's always going to be just that. Like you could say, like it's just an animated film, or it's just like it's just like a made-for-TV movie, or it's just like an AI movie. Like it will be in that category. So early on, those things won't be great. It will become like more commonplace. And I think that we're going to see, and we already are seeing, like it's really common. I think what we're going to see is just the limits to it, and I think we're always just going to see the limits to it, because I have yet to see one that like recognizes like the long term, and I'm actually interested in seeing Tilly Norwood's movie, to see if they can do more than clips, because
Mm-hmm.
as far as I've seen, like in large stretches, AI is hallucinating a lot. They can't seem to understand what it is they're talking about, although they're getting better and better at like guessing what it might be. So I don't know that yeah, you can say it gives you the ick. Remember a long time ago, people didn't like the idea of photoshopping stuff, um, and that's like really commonplace. And before that, I mean, there was just like digital imagery at all versus like photography. Focusing the lens and developing the film. It was sneezed at. Same thing. Like I think it's just like a type of advancement. And the way that you're using it, I think, is pretty healthy. Um, we also do have to circle back around and just remind people of the, like an AI psychosis, where if you're talking to it for a long period of time, you can actually start to believe that you're talking to somebody else. or you can believe that what it's saying is sound advice, and you should always be checking that with somebody. I'm just going to shout out, you can call 988 if you want to check your thoughts against somebody. 988 is not 911. 988 is a mental health service for anyone who just wants to talk to somebody. So if you're in a place where you're feeling like kind of weird because maybe you feel like you might be too attached to chatting, just give them a call and talk to them and see what they're thinking. They're non-judgmental. It's a service that if you're able to use it, they can continue to get funding. So yeah, if you're in that place and you just want to talk to a real person, you can.
Real person.
Yeah.
That's the
Press
key.
1 if
A
you
real
feel
human
happy.
person.
Yeah, exactly.
Press 2 if you feel sad.
Right, give me flashbacks to this terrible cold that I had today. I will
I've
summarize.
done a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I will summarize it in just quickly in saying that it was a 25-minute wait time, and they had only one song. They had only purchased one song, and it was 3 minutes long. Um, so, yeah, I was like, "Am I in hell? Is this a time loop?" I better
Oh
start
yeah.
doing some things. Like if I sat there for too long, I was pretty sure I'd be like, "Oh no, this is indefinite." Anyway, so you were gonna say, Robin, you've had
God,
some.
now I'm having flashbacks to being in the unemployment queue back in the
Ugh,
beginning of the pandemic.
ugh.
Oh, how many times I heard that freaking song.
Yeah,
All
I
my
know.
dreams.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's probably the same song. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. Oh, I was gonna say I have had some times where I've had some very helpful text conversations with the people that are. I think it's the same. You can text a number. You can either. I don't know if you can even text 988 actually, but
I'm
it's
gonna look
something.
that
I
up right
think it's
now
the
because
same
if
group,
you
and you can.
can, that's really,
Yeah,
really cool. I didn't know about that.
I can't
Um,
remember.
I just more
Yeah,
recently
it was
found out
like the
about that,
same
and I
kind
was
of
like, this is
emergency help.
awesome. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, see if I can
because,
find it too.
some types
What I
of
was texting.
anxiety um, don't allow you to call, even though, yeah, you can. You can text and chat. Um, so, yeah, they have English and Spanish. Unfortunately, to other speakers who don't have those services, but they're there. And that's yeah. I was just looking at it on the text. I don't want to tap it because I don't want to take someone's time currently, just for the sake of the show. But yeah, that's awesome. I didn't think about that. Because that takes some of the pressure off. You don't have to worry about it ringing and then what do I say and all that. Um, because
Yeah.
that can be sometimes enough to be like, you know what, I'm gonna put this off until after I'm dead. Um, because it can just be so
There's also
anxiety inducing. I'm sorry to laugh about that. I just say that from a dark place of having
no, I
been
get it.
there, where you're like, I would rather, it's time rather than make this phone call. So, um,
No,
I'm
there's truly a benefit to being able to text, especially when you are kind of in a dark place and you're thinking dark things.
right,
Sometimes it's easier to get help if you can just text it instead of having to say it.
right, yeah,
In
exactly.
addition to the 988, there is actually a crisis text line.
Oh,
You can text home, HOME, 741 741. So that's a
I,
specific like
I'm
crisis
sorry.
text
I'm
line.
not sure specifically. So you text to the number home. You type the number 741 741.
No, no, the other way around. You type home to the
Okay.
number 741 741.
Okay, so basically it's this three numbers 741, which is 7 and then 14 backwards. So
Mm-hmm.
741 and then that twice. So 741 and you send home to them and they start to
And then
respond.
E
turn
text
left,
home.
Which is okay.
and
Yeah,
then
I
you make
wish
a left,
good.
and
Yeah.
then another left, and then you go 3 blocks down.
But it's good to know that you can text
Anyway,
home just like ET, 741 741. Cool.
yeah.
Uh, so you mentioned this briefly in talking about ChatGPT, and so I wanted to hear more about this because what you said was that you will put your notes for a sermon into that. when I was preaching as well, I
Mm-hmm.
was doing the same thing. I was like, hey, explore these ideas from this section as a learned Bible scholar, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
um, we actually ended the last time you were on this show from just the miracle of your cancer being cured and how that happened, and then also how you've been working in the church. We got most of the backstory, and so that's what one of the reasons I was like, "Hey, I'm excited to get back and talk about this," because this is actually part of the story that I don't know about. Because we both went our separate ways, where I went into prolonged hermithood and bizarre adventure. Coming back to parallel universes with quite good friends, Aaron Cosbiel, of course, Andy Robin coming back to have conversations with us. Um, and so I want to hear more about that. We could start with sermons if you want and sort of expand into it. I was also interested in how you got involved with the church. And because you mentioned briefly, you're like, hey, I don't think I'm a leader, and now you're a pastor. Um, but then,
Well,
yeah,
not a
I'm
pastor,
sorry,
but spiritual leader.
spiritual leader. I apologize. But that's what
And
you like.
technically ordained by the Universal Life Church,
Cool.
but it's different.
That's right. That's more for occasions
Yeah,
when you have occasions to be an occasion. So how do you wanna get into all that?
sure. Yeah, so I mean, I after my mother died, I was very lost, and I felt this incredibly strong urge to be here in Arizona, where I am right now. At the time, I was still in Chicago, and I needed to be here. She was gone, and it wasn't like I was coming here to be with her, but there was something about the mountains and the desert and the lost souls that were here. Like I had to be here. So I literally put all of my crap into storage and packed my car up with what I needed and drove out here and was like, okay, I'm here. And I landed in my mom's like 55 plus community little mobile home that she owned but had to pay rent on the land, which is a very strange thing.
Right.
Um, I was essentially
Rent.
squatting there because I owned the home, but I had no right to be on the land.
Wow. Right.
So that's great. Little bureaucracy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyway,
Loopholes in legality is so
yeah.
frustrating to even think about. Okay, gotcha. So you were a squatter, but you had to be in Arizona.
Yeah. So right. And I think I told you a little bit the last time we talked about the praying mantis that came to visit me.
Yes.
And then I feel like I told you this. Yeah, I sat with the praying mantis on the porch, my mother's sun porch where she sat many times, like 3 days in a row. And I was looking up the symbolism of the praying mantis and like what it meant. And there's some cultures that believed like when a praying mantis shows up at your door like that, it's a symbol to you, that you have like some kind of spiritual calling.
Hmm.
It's a signal to find inner peace and inner stillness, And while I was looking this up, this like bag of my mom's stuff kind of like knocked over off the desk, and this book for the church that she was going to at the time, MDUU, the church that I go to now,
Hmm.
just like falls out of the bag with a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, oh, right. And I had gone with her one Christmas many moons ago, a Christmas service, because she was just so desperate for us to go with her to her church. Um, my mother was always much more interested in that than I was. And I remember going, and it was super non-church like it was about spirit and about people coming together. I should say my perception of church like at the time. Um,
How do you mean?
it was just
Because I think when you do say church, I think a lot of
like
people get a picture. So what do you mean it was different from?
yeah. I'm trying to take away the negative connotation that I put on the word church when I say it like that.
Well, okay, so let me back up. What were you,
Like it's
what do you
churchy.
expect? Yeah, what do you
Ooh.
expect of church? Like people all dressed up like pews and organ, or do you expect church to be
And
like
that it's
people in
gonna
jeans and
be
t-shirt and
and that
rock
it's
show?
oh my gosh, why don't
Yeah, that's the
I don't
spectrum
think
of
anybody thinks
church.
that's what church is?
As it exists
Yeah.
in America currently. So that's why I'm like, what were you?
Traditional
Sure.
to non-denominational.
Yeah, you got it. Uh,
Aaron, what?
Traditional to non-denominational.
right, and that's a fair spectrum,
Yeah.
right? Like, that's the whole kind of like. So you're expecting it to be kind of stuffy, like more on the
Yeah.
stained glass and
Um,
pews.
when no, so when I was growing up, the churches that my mother always made us go to were very Jesus is the answer to everything. Wear your fanciest clothes, say the right things, don't do this, don't do that.
Yes,
And I just wasn't really into that.
it's an impossible
But
lifestyle. We were
I
talking about this
found,
on a show this weekend. Yeah, like just the legality of religion. Actually, specifically, if you look at the book, is not the point. It's exhausting and it wears everybody out. It makes them
yeah,
bitter. Yeah. So I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. You've said none of those words. That I own that as my own opinion. So,
yeah. I church is very rulesy and very fit inside this boxy. This was my impression of it at the time.
right, right.
You know, not having any real experience with the community I ultimately did find at my church. It's just the word church. I think commonly people think things about the word church in a negative way,
Well, you
unless you
said,
have personally got good experiences with it.
yeah, you said the follow-up words, which is community, I think, is that you did not find a
Yes.
legal system where you went into. You found what should be there, in my opinion, which is a group of people that are like, hey, are you a person? We love you. And if you want to hang out here, that's literally the requirement, right? Like just love other
Yeah.
people who are around you.
Yeah. Are you a
Um,
person?
yeah,
We're people.
yeah,
These are the things we value. Do you
100%.
value these things?
Right.
Let's talk about it.
Right, and if you don't, that's
They're like,
okay. But we
yeah.
can, yeah,
And I
like
was like,
let me
what?
tell you why I think it's important for us to, yeah, because we can make the world a better place by just recognizing we have
Yeah.
more in common than we have differences, right?
Yeah. Nothing was getting shoved down my throat, you know.
Right, right,
And on Christmas, no less. And I was like, wow.
right.
If I were going to go to church, I'd go to a church like this.
Fair, fair,
That's what I thought many moons ago. The one time I went,
right.
and we go forward in time, which is back from here. So um,
We we went a little too far forward as we
I
met the
went.
narrator in the middle of her
I went a little
story.
too far forward. Gotta go back. Here we are.
But actually,
You know,
Rob, what I'm pretty sure
20,
just happened is you looked directly at the camera and you just like did a little hair flip, and they're like, "Okay, now back to the story." Um, I'm just checking
more of a
in.
finger wave.
Yeah, like hey.
Ooh.
All right.
Which I
So
just did again to show you, even though you're
we're
looking
also
at me.
going back in time, right? Back to the story. Okay, I'm with you.
So we're in 2018. My mom died. Praying mantis pamphlet falls out, and I'm like, well, if that ain't a sign from the universe, I don't know what is. So
Right, right.
clearly, the universe was telling me go to this church. So at the time, the church did not have its own like building, and they were meeting at this beautiful old Savior, gorgeous church, with a massive like Jesus on a crucifix on the wall, which was like not the vibe I was looking for.
Right, right. You're like,
But
whoa, hey, whoa.
it was just they were just renting the building, so
Gotcha. I'm with you.
that's not really their choice of decor.
Right,
They didn't have any problem with it; they just weren't preaching it.
right.
Um, but yeah, so and I remember coming in and I met Peter the greeter. I call him Peter the greeter to this day.
Is that
He
what he
like greeted
does?
me at
And
the
that's what
door,
his name
welcomed
is?
me. Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
well,
his last name
perfect.
is something kind of Swedish and complicated, and Yeah. So Peter the Greeter is a lot easier to.
Fair.
He's very sweet. He made me feel very welcome. Did a great job as a welcomer, and I filled out a little form when I came in that he gave me. And for I don't know what possessed me, but there was a little box that said, "Do you want to talk to the minister?" And I was like, "Sure, let's do this thing."
Hmm.
And I turned in my little form and my email address and all of that, put down my phone number. And I remember sitting through the service, and it was this part of the service called Joys and Sorrows, where they invited everyone to come up and share a joy or a sorrow and place a stone in the water, and like the whole community kind of like holds your joy or your sorrow with you, right? It's like community cool stuff.
That is
And I
really cool.
just lifted out of the fucking chair. I like got into that line, and I got up there, and I just shared my story. I was like, this is my mother's church. I just lost her. I'm totally lost. And I found my way here. So I'm just sharing that. And thanks for letting me be here, like as I am. And I just stood there and like cried with the microphone in front of this room full of people.
Whoa.
And it was totally fine. In fact, it was great.
Whoa.
They welcomed
They all
it,
held it
and
with you.
yeah.
What a
And a lot of
community
people
does. What
for
a
the
community
service
does. Let me just take a break real quick
too.
to talk about
Yeah.
this for a second. This is the difference that we're talking about between this and like what people would generally think of as church. Is in a church, when people are being legalistic, you're too scared to share what's going on with you, so nobody gets to celebrate with you because it doesn't measure
Hmm.
up to the level of
Yep.
perfection that they want. In an actual community, people be like, it sucks for you. Well, it sucks for us too. It's good for you. It's good for us too. No matter what people are going through, like that's is a big problem in society when we have the
Yeah.
first one without the second one. I mean, being critical is good, make sure that people are taken care of, that, like we don't have trash in the streets, we're cleaning up after ourselves, like we don't let people hurt each other. That's good things. That's good ways to be critical. That's good legalism. Then there's bad legalism that we like, there's a certain point where we have to like have a place where humans can just be humans, and
Yeah.
not fighting with each other for status.
And if I don't show up with a smile on my face and wearing my Sunday best,
Hmm.
you know, I was not treated in a way other than like joyously welcomed,
Right.
like
We're glad you're here
they
because this is the
they're
place that
really
should
big
happen.
on, yeah, be where you're at. Like we will meet you where you are at, and we will not judge you for any of it, and so I immediately found this community of people that had a connection to my mom, who were all like, "Oh my God, honey, get in here." Like, you're a part of us. We welcome you. We love you. Share your trauma with us.
Right, right.
And I would share about. So I started coming every Sunday, but the first thing that happened that really encouraged that, I left that day, was a Sunday, and then Monday morning I got a phone call from the minister,
Hmm.
and he was like, "Hey, and I had spoken to him after the service, and just introduced myself and said, I
Oh,
think
gotcha.
you were
Also,
the same person, you know, what?
you just spoken on Sunday morning. So he was like, "Oh,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah,
got your card, and you said you were going through something. I'm
yeah,
gonna call you Monday morning."
exactly.
Yeah, good on him.
Yeah, right. So, and I'd spoken to him right after the service too, and had said, my mother used to be a part of this church. She passed away, and um, and he told me, actually, oh, I remember her. Like, I didn't actually know that your mother had died. I'm so sorry to hear that. We hadn't seen her in a while, and we weren't sure, why that was. So like he actually remembered her, and there were a handful of people who remembered my mother, and a handful of other people who I think wanted to remember my mother, but didn't
Fair enough.
quite.
Fair enough.
But it was sweet of them, to make the effort anyway. Um,
I think
but
she
okay,
was a
so he calls me
woman.
Monday, and he's
She
like,
had some hair.
I think I think there was a body
Right.
somewhere. Their leg.
Right. She
I'm
had
like, your
hands. Right.
mom,
I met your
with the
mom.
daughter, with the
Right.
view. Yeah,
There.
yeah.
Nice of him to try
You
it for me.
remember my mom.
Right.
I mean, you remember my mom.
I remember your mom,
Um,
but
right? Yeah. So very few people in my life to this point actually know my mom in
hmm.
my current life. It's very weird.
Jack Haynes.
Anyway, we
What's
can
up,
talk about
buddy?
that later.
How are you?
Hey.
Sorry to interrupt, Robin.
Oh,
Hello?
it's
You
urgent.
okay?
I am sorry. I had to do some mom stuff today. I'm sorry that I'm not there, guys.
That's okay. That's what I was gonna guess. I didn't know, but everything. How is she doing?
She's doing fine.
Okay.
I had to go pick up a car for her today, so that's
Oh,
what I'm just done doing.
gotcha.
So I just got back home with a brand new car. So
Fun. Um, do you want to come
A brand new car.
draw with
Just
us?
thinking the same thing, Aaron.
You guys, the Capricorns making their goofy jokes. Of course, you guys, it was
A brand
hilarious.
new
A
car.
brand new.
And you have a car. And you have a car. Everybody got
yeah,
the car.
if you guys can give me like maybe like a little bit of time, I might be able to hop in. But
Okay.
I have to because I have to park this on the road and
Oh,
unload some stuff.
fair.
I I have probably like about another like 45 minutes of time. So I really
Do you,
apologize. I should have called and let you know before, but it slipped my mind because I just was doing so much
yeah,
today. I'm
stuff
so
going on.
sorry.
Do you want to just come draw tomorrow, as we're writing?
Yeah,
I mean, because
yeah.
it sounds like you got
That
a
would
lot
actually
going
be
on, and you'll probably want to stop anyway. Like get some food, take a break, a shower. You've got things going on.
exactly.
Cool. All right, yeah. Then
Yeah,
we'll just do
exactly.
that. We'll meet off air. We'll meet on air. I'll record so we can speed lapse it, and that'll be fun. Okay. Well, good. I'm glad your mom's okay. I'm glad you have the car.
Yeah. And I'm sorry that I'm only getting a hold of you now. I've been like nonstop since this morning. So
I'm glad you did. I was just worried that something may have happened because I was like, maybe he was traveling and something, you know. So then when you reached out, I was like, all right, cool. At least my boy's still here, you know. So
yeah.
good. And then we'll meet up tomorrow. We'll hang out.
All right. Sounds great.
Sweet man.
You guys have a good. I'll see you tomorrow.
You too.
All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sweet. Well, good.
Hey.
Bye.
Sorry. A brand new car.
A brand
Yeah.
new car. Uh,
The whole time
Oh
I just
no!
kept
It won't
wanting
hang
to
up.
say it over and over.
I got you, buddy. Um,
It's so funny. He was
I
stuck in
should
the
have just
room.
muted him and then made him listen to us. Be like, haha, you're stuck on the podcast.
Haha,
As an
listen,
audience member,
listen.
Jack, how do you feel about it now? And Aaron's like, listen, I want to show off my drawing skills. And pulls up MS Paint and just starts like
Oh my
splattering
God.
paint everywhere. And Jack's like, please stop! Stop doing it, please!
I have the drawing skills.
See, that's why I was like, yeah,
Uh,
that's why I was like, it'd be so funny if you made Jack watch you paint. Um,
okay, I'm gonna open up MS Paint.
right, yeah,
Uh,
exactly. One pixel at a time.
yeah, it's just like just drawing shapes and then using the can to color it all in.
Yeah, there you
Uh,
go. That's how it works. That's how painting is done
how it works.
digitally. So, Robin, that was such a fun and bizarre segue, which you were great at doing both and handling both. For someone who's had very little improv training, who's put in
Sorry.
way less money than Aaron Cosbill and I have. The compliment is coming. You
No,
think on
I
your
put no money into my improv.
That's what I'm saying. Like for having natural skills at improvising, plus some probably in college where dicking around and stuff like that. But like you just roll with the punches, being like, let's do bits. So
Yeah, I
yeah,
do
I'm still
bits
waiting. I'm still waiting for
85% of the day.
the one woman show that's going to be going on through the nation
I'm
touring.
going to work on it.
Well, it's
Work
I
on
mean
it.
it's just like
It needs to
it's an
happen.
inevitable thing is all, and we all know it.
Yeah,
So
I just need to stop getting in my own way of doing it. I'm so good at making excuses and drama and like reasons why I can't succeed,
right.
putting stuff in my way.
Well,
I'm an Olympic hero at it.
you and a lot of other people. I
Yeah,
cannot tell you
I
how
can
many
see it.
people have said, that I have an idea and I want to do a thing. When I tell them you can do a thing, I can get that idea going for you. They go, well, I don't know, maybe not. Yeah, I'll get back to you. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because the truth
so
is
you
we
don't
don't really
want to
want
do
all
a
the things
thing?
that we say
Yeah,
we want.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Because we want to want things,
Right.
right?
It's
We
fun to
want to
want
want
things.
things.
Yeah.
I want you to want me.
I
Oh, and
want
I
me to
do.
want things.
Brand new.
Yeah.
It's never gonna
Yeah.
stop.
uh,
It's never gonna stop.
yeah.
No, but it's true. We say that we want these things,
Well, we
right? But
like
like
to
if
think
we
about
really
things.
wanted them,
Right.
we would have them.
And here's the thing that everybody knows deep down is real things, achieving real things take a lot of energy, a lot of time, and a lot of
Yes.
persistence. Starting a
Yes.
new
It's more than
idea.
just being like, I really want a car,
Right.
and then it shows up on your doorstep.
Right, right.
But actually, I've got a great story about that. Like, this is okay.
Okay.
So the woman that I work with, Linda, the woman that has done so much of this life-changing, miraculous cancer healing work with me,
Right. To skip ahead
literally
in the
just got a
story.
new car.
Huh.
Yeah, just like for a hot second, because it's so on topic. So she, for months, has been struggling because she doesn't have a car and she needs to go places, wants to have her car.
Hmm.
And she keeps saying, like, I know I want it. I know I want it. I can see myself in it. But she just a couple weeks ago was like, you know what? No, I'm getting serious. I deserve this car. I'm ready to let myself have this car. I don't know why I'm holding it back. This car is mine. She cleaned out
Right.
her garage. She was like ready for it. And she told her sister, like, I'm getting my car today. I'm getting my car today. Meanwhile, unbeknownst to her, her brother's coming to town for a visit. She knew that was going to happen. But the unbeknownst part was they get there, they pick her up, and they're like, hey, we know you don't have a car and you need a car. We're here to buy you a car. It's got a brand new car.
Whoa.
She made that happen,
That's
right? And
awesome.
it's not like she was just like, car, ding, and it appears. But
Right.
like she truly saw herself with the car. She prepared her life for it. She knew she was ready to have it. And the universe answered.
Yeah, that's and that was the. I'm glad that we're putting this here early on, early-ish on in the episode, about 45 minutes in. I hope that's not sinking the lead too much. Actually, but that's where I wanted to get to in this conversation. So that's really cool because that's where I kind of ended up at in that conversation. So the idea of manifestation. I'm going to take a quick break real fast and just call out this is Cox and Space podcast. This is behind the scenes drawing with Jack, with no Jack, but with Robin Valcel, who is here with us. Um, so if you want to find out more about the project of Cox in Space, it's an animated cartoon of two rooster brothers spreading happiness across the universe. So you just at coxinspace.com. You can, yeah, it's a fun time. We're starting episode 4 in it. We have recordings of the first two. Jack is working through the artwork of the first episode, the first scene of the first episode, and we're over halfway done with that. So we're getting ready to start animating it because we have a good idea what the characters look like, what the space looks like. Chandler's done a bunch of music for the show. So if you want to help out with that, you can go to coxinspace.com, click join the crew. You can become a bridge member, a science officer, or a cadet. And that is your, you buy into what we're doing in Cox in Space. Your decision on how you want to be a part of the team. You can also get on the show and come hang out with us. So you can click on the Facebook link, talk to Aaron Cosville, and tell them what you're interested in, and we will talk about what you're interested in on the show. We have a bunch of different shows, as you know, going on. Drawing with Jack, Flicking with Skip, and Chandler on the weekends. Sometimes we have some guest GMs coming in for They Die at the End. I'm trying to convince a good friend of mine, Jack McLaughlin, who's coming in at the end of November, to come do some guest GMing with us because he'd be really, really fun. Also, Ocean Alvarado has been a blast. So if you guys haven't checked those episodes out, check those out because super fun episodes. You can also, when you go to coxinspace.com, you can get connected on the Discord. So you can come hang out with us specifically. You can come play the game. They die at the end. You can come and hang out and be audience members for these shows. all the things up to you. So if you have anything you want to shout out now, Aaron Cosby, of course, is the professor of comedy.com. You can check out anything we're doing there. Robin Balsell is anonymous to the internet, but soon her face will be everywhere as the artificial intelligence spreads the TV show about her life. Um,
I don't
so.
know. I don't know.
Well,
We'll see.
here's the thing, Robin, that I would recommend, I guess, more than anything else for that show, because what at the end of the day, I think your uncle would want is to just have like a 3D model built of your face, and then he could, or your body, and then he could do whatever he needed to do on the show with it. I mean, he could go as realistic of the animation as he wants to at this point. There's really good animators. It's
I just don't know that I want that. I don't know. I gotta think about it.
Well, it's the verses. I mean, like, it's either if you're gonna do it without AI, you have to build a 3D model. That's what's commonly done. That's how Margot Robbie is a Tanya Harding level skater in that movie. I think it's called I, Tanya. Um, like, they just get 3D models. They make 3D models of people and then have them do the things that they wanted to do. But
I mean,
that's essentially what a large language model is doing also. They're building models of
sure.
things and then making them move. I wish that they would build a model that would give us control of the action, and then it would be almost a perfect tool in my opinion, because it would be doing the thing that we're doing now plus the ability to control it. Um, so like there's no controls beyond what they call vibe coding or vibing with it. You have to describe softly in the correct terms. Speak your secrets to the machine.
Oh my God.
Oh Jesus, yeah, exactly. Um, People who are worshiping that, it's insane. They're just hearing their own thoughts again. Narcissists who love the sound of their own voices. We were interrupted.
A new car.
I know, right? When you were talking about how you met the pastor, and I believe you were beginning to tell the story where he on a Monday, right? You meet up with him, and he's like, "You have the ability to lead people," or something along those lines.
So we, he calls me. He's like, "Let's meet up." We're supposed to meet for like an hour, right? And I get to the office and there's a bunch of people there, and he's like, "Well, maybe we could like go outside." So we go down this little like walking trail, and we find this little like bench sitting area, like in the middle of the desert.
Mm,
Um, and we're, it's Arizona, so it's fairly warm, and sitting out in the sun would have been a lot for an hour, but we ended up sitting out there for 4 hours,
oh my
which
God!
was not intended.
At what time of day?
Yeah, and he ended up. It was like the middle of the day, so it was like the
Jesus.
hottest part of the day. We
Right.
were fools sitting out there in the sun, but we were having such an intense conversation. I mean, we were talking about, my brother died, my father died, then my mom died, and like this cancer thing, and
Right.
I'm out here, and I felt this calling, and
Guys, if you think
I
we're
felt like I had to be
shooting
here,
past
like,
it, it's in the first episode. You guys can check out on the first episode everything that we just shot past in the last sentence. So
yeah,
you felt like you had a calling to be here. Also, that's one of the things I want to touch on when you first brought it up too. Is something that we kind of learned in college, I think, and I followed my entire life, is that sometimes your gut will say that it's time to do a specific thing, and it may not make
hmm
sense, but I have followed it, and it keeps leading me to unexpected places, but ones that I would not miss for like it makes my life memorable. The things that I ended up getting to do because of that. Um,
yeah,
so if you have
absolutely,
schizophrenia or like bouts of mania, maybe check yourself a little. But also, like, yeah, this you're like, I need to be in Arizona, and so you ended up there, and you felt drawn to there. Thank you for
yeah,
saying
and
repeating that.
I also I felt the need to be a part of something.
Right.
Like I felt so like incomplete. And he reflected back to me, like, the things that you're saying, like, it's a very specific language that you're speaking to me. And I didn't really understand what he meant at first. And he was like, well, you're telling me that you have a calling to be here, to be a part of something bigger than yourself. You felt led to come here to speak to me. Now here we are sitting in the desert and like, talking about this, like, you've got a calling. And I'm like, a ministry? And he was like, well, you tell me.
Wild,
I was
right?
like, no, that's crazy to me to even think. Like, it's amazing to me the building didn't like explode, or I didn't burst into flames when I walked into the church, But he's like, well, you know what? Let's start with being on the pastoral team, which basically is this team of people that works together on Sunday mornings to help put the services together. Sometimes they do readings, sometimes they'll, do a back and forth with the minister, or they'll do like other parts of the service, or they'll share like little testimonials, whatever. And they help set up and like take apart the room because, we're renting the space. So we're setting up our stuff in their area and then taking it back down. And I was like, okay, cool. And it was something I started doing, and I kept engaging in the joys and sorrows, and I just kept being held and embraced by this community that was just so accepting of where I was at and so wanted to hear about what I was going through, which was so weird to me. And as a performer and an
Right,
artist, I do love a stage.
right,
But
of
this was a
course.
different kind of thing.
Right.
This was like, this was an audience that wanted to hear my heart,
Yeah, it's not about what you
not
can
like
present, it's about being
the part.
authentic. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I've been on this journey of finding who I authentically am. And I think that community has been a big part of that. The pandemic has been a part of it. The cancer's been a part of it. Um, and I met Linda, the woman who helped me start doing this work that I've been doing that's changed everything, at that church.
Hmm.
Like, being a part of that community has been a significant part of my grief healing, my surviving the last insane few years. I mean, oh my God, life has been wild. Ever since my mother died, like, honestly, from my perspective, like, that event has just set off this chain of events, like, that has just not stopped ever since. And I just got better at riding it instead of tumbling around inside of it. Or when I
Right.
am tumbling around, instead of like screaming and clawing, I'm like laughing. You know? I'm like holding my head to make sure I don't like bump it too hard.
Right.
Like, I've learned to ride it all so differently. Um,
Bill
but yeah,
Hicks
that was an
said
interesting reflection to
it's
think
a
about
it's
that.
a roller coaster. It goes up and down and all around, but it's just a ride. We're on a ride.
Yeah,
There's some chills and
yeah.
thrills. Yeah, that's just a ride. Yeah, we're the universe
But
poking our head up
Linda,
to look at it. Yes, please.
Linda was Linda's an amazing woman. This is the Reverend Dr. Linda Lee Logan. Um, one of
Wow.
these presences, like, you walk in, you're in a room and she walks in and it's like, whoa, the glory has arrived.
Wow.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
It's like you just like feel it when this woman walks in the room. She's such a light. She's such an incredible woman. And she's sassy as hell too. I love it. But she got involved in the PA team too. More recently, she joined the church after the pandemic. This was when I first joined, was pre-pandemic, and then I so funny. I lost myself. I found a community. I did a musical, remembered who I was, and moved back to Chicago just for the pandemic to shut the world down and send me packing back to Arizona.
Right. You're not like the pandemic wasn't
Crazy.
specifically about you, but it had plans for kind of everybody, right?
wasn't it? No, I'm just kidding.
It
No,
was like,
that was a wild
Wuhan,
time.
who? No, me.
Oh man, that was crazy times. It still feels crazy, but yeah. I left the church obviously when I came back to Chicago. I didn't like leave the church so much as I was like, well, I'll be in Chicago. But then I came back to Arizona, and we were pretty deep in the pandemic, and it was right after I found out that my breast cancer had spread into my lungs.
Oh my
And so
God.
now I had cancer in my lungs during a respiratory pandemic. So I wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
I wasn't going back to church. And for a while there, nobody was going anywhere. And they were having church online. And I got an email from the minister, the interim minister at the time, who was amazing. In the UU church, you have like your settled minister, but if for some reason your settled minister like leaves or like their service there is done and they go somewhere else or for whatever reason they are asked to leave, then you get an interim for 2 years while you put together like a committee and you find a new minister who comes in, and then they have like a settling year, and then they're like officially your minister. So I was there right when the minister left that I sat with in the desert. They brought in the new minister, the interim, who was amazing, and then I left. And then I came back, and she was still here because the
Okay.
pandemic drew her 2 year interim into a 3. And I was in a really low time. I was really lonely. I was having darker thoughts than I wanted to have. And she just emailed me and was like, hey, some of the grandmas and grandpas I've seen on Facebook that you might be around, and they're all kind of wondering if you're going to come back. So, you wanna come back and hang out with all your grandmas and grandpas and me? Which is funny because like the median age of our congregation is like literally 75. It's a lot
Right,
of
right, fair.
much older white people. Um, but yeah, so I came back and started, back on the PA team again and sharing my grief work. And, I started getting more and more involved. And Sam, the Reverend at the time, was allowing us to get more creatively involved in services. And so I started speaking a lot more in church, and we were doing these really cool orchestrated services on deep and important things, but also like sharing so much joy and light and healing with one another. And it was just so magical. And then her interim time ended, and it was horrible. It sucked losing her
Oh my
so
God.
much. Um, but I really learned from her a lot about sharing my heart and finding more pathways to letting shit go and becoming more my authentic self, dropping the mask, dropping the games. I didn't realize what I was doing until Linda helped me kind of like put a name to it in hindsight. Um,
Well,
yeah,
we need
as
each
I
other
was
for
getting closer to
mirrors. That's
becoming my true self. Yeah.
right.
Oh
Like,
God, yeah.
basically, from the beginning of society,
Yeah.
we didn't have like reflections to look into, so we needed each other. But that wasn't just about what we look like
Yeah.
or what we were wearing and how our hair is, but like socially, we need that too because it's really easy to think that our perspective makes sense until we like hear someone else say it
Hmm.
or say it to someone else, and we're like, oh, hold up. I am a jackass.
Hmm.
That's generally what happened with me. So that's cool that she did that for you.
Yeah. Um, God, I miss that woman. I miss Sam so much. But anyway, our new minister's not the worst. We are not a good connection, he and I. Um, but that's all
That
right.
that's fair.
And
There's different
it's like
times and
hours we could talk
different
about it, but
seasons, right?
yeah. Um, but anyway, my relationship with that community gave me a lot of opportunity to really work through my grief. And I think there was something that Linda saw. We're going to fast forward a little bit into the work that we're talking about.
Blub, 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 blub,
There
blub,
was
blub.
something that she saw Because there were moments where things were going better than others, and there was moments where I was really trying to be positive, air quotes around positive.
I
Um,
know the feeling, right?
but I was also still, yeah, but I was also still very content, wrapped in all of my dramatic narrative reasons as to why um, life was just a sad and miserable place, but I was pushing through to be happy as I could. Um, this telling this narrative with so many receipts and so much justification of being this sick, dying person buried in grief, who still like finds ways to laugh and sing and oh woe is me, pity me, I need your help. Like
Hmm.
that was just the narrative I was telling. And
Hmm.
meant on paper it was totally justifiable, but it's still a narrative. And it was a narrative that I was making true because I gave
Interesting.
it so much of my time and my energy.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you put a filter on, you tell yourself a narrative, and we do this. The human brain, we look for the patterns, right?
You're right.
Like we look for the things that fit the narrative. And the more we focus in that way, the more neurons are firing that way over and over and over again, the more it's literally like the energy you were putting into the universe, and the universe is literally giving it back to you.
Hmm.
All I could think about was this company, like companies aren't giving me a fair chance. Like I can't get help from the government services that I need. Oh, and I have to pay this bill and they won't work with me. And I can't and I can't. And I'm buried and I'm buried. And everything's a nightmare. And the system's all against us. And
Right.
negative, negative, negative. I can't, I can't, I can't, I can't. I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying, I'm dying. Help me, help me, help me, help me. I need help. I literally was swimming in it
Right. Right.
and I was making it my reality.
Hmm.
I just kept making it worse. And I couldn't really see it that way. And if you had said that to me even like 10 months ago, I would have been go fuck. I would have
Right.
told you how awful and unfair that was,
Right. Right.
you know? And I was chugging along. I was doing my best. After the pandemic kind of started to get a little bit better. COVID's not gone, but in Arizona, once it got to a place after a few years where it was like easier to engage in the world, and I was getting a little bit stronger because I was using the inhalers like to treat the asthma. And we're jumping back into stuff that we talked about in the last episode again with
Right.
just
Right.
like health details.
Yeah.
Um,
So
I was
guys,
I was in a place where I
check
was
it out
doing
in
a
the last
little bit
episode.
better. Yeah, check it out, and maybe you'll win a brand new car. Um,
Anyway, I'll link it down in the description below if you guys are looking for it. I'll try to get a pop up for this one too.
oh my god, so funny. Yeah, so I was doing a little bit better. I was trying to engage in the world, but I kept telling myself I had these limitations and I was so sick and I could use every ounce of energy I had to like try and engage in the things that I wanted to engage in. And I was just playing that narrative over and over and over. Um, and I started to get a little bit of momentum for the better, and then some of my test results started looking not so good, like not even not even like that bad, just like these little tiny changes towards the negative. And I was of course using that as if a landmine of devastating news just like hit me,
Right.
because every little tiny gust of the wind at that time was a landmine hitting me.
Right.
um
One
and
more
I
thing.
and I shared it, right. And now the cancer's growing,
Right.
you know um and so I went into our joys and sorrows, which, many years later from the original joys and sorrows I told you about, they did that in like every single service. There was time for people to come up and open mic. But now in church, we only do that once a month.
Hmm.
And the other weeks of the month, we have a pastoral care team share the joys and sorrows that anybody has like brought up during the week or has asked them to share, and like we'll
Oh,
put
cool.
like we do a
Okay.
ritual of putting stones in the water. Yeah, so like we still do that, but the
Right.
open mic ones are like once a month, or once every other month even, I think.
Wow.
I don't even know. Yeah. So we we were doing one, and I had shared that, you know, this test result the last few months had been going up, and that I was really freaking out about it, that I wasn't really handling it that well. And I got home that afternoon after the service, and Linda calls me, and she goes, "Are you done?
Hmm.
Like, are you ready to be done with this drama?" I was like, "What?" She's like, "All of this, like, you know, like with the sick, and I'm helpless, and I'm dying. Like, are you ready to be done with this? Because if you're ready to be done with your drama, I can help you." And like at first, like for a split second, I was like, "You, I, th- how dare?" Because and what? Like it really hit me, and then I just like really genuinely wanted to feel better and just said to her like desperately yes.
Right.
And she's like, "Okay, tell
That's where you
me
gotta get to. Yeah.
that your cancer," right? And then she said to me, "Tell me that your cancer is gone." And I was like, "What?" She's like, "Tell me. What if you were to find out it was gone, what would happen?" I was like, "I guess I don't know." And she's like, "Well, but like how would it happen? What would happen?" I was like, "The oncologist would, I guess, call me after like a scan." She's like, "Okay, and what would she say?" And like walked me through this conversation. And I was like, "Oh, she'd say, hey, you got your scan results back,
Right.
and you know, it's crazy, but I don't actually see like any cancer in here."
Right.
And she's like, "And then what did you say?" And I was like, "Oh, what? That's
That's
crazy."
interesting.
You know, like she guided me through this, right?
What you're
Not
doing
just a
right at those
conversation.
moments is you're creating a nearby reality that either existed before, didn't exist before, or existed before, and you're drawing closer to it. So that's cool. That's a cool way to
And
do it. Yeah. Okay.
and then we threw a lasso around it and pulled it closer when she asked me, "How did that feel when
Hmm.
you heard that?
Right.
How
Right.
did it
Gotcha.
feel to be told that you didn't have the cancer? How does it feel to know that you do have a future? How does it feel to know that you are healthy and happy and
Hmm.
capable? How does that feel?" And so it was not just the practice of like saying it, and words have power. Speaking words out loud have power, especially words with intention,
Right.
but to also practice the way it felt in my body and where I felt it in my body. And could I feel it outside of me? And, you know, like that level of investment and visualization and belief day after day after day after day. And it was only a matter of maybe like 6 weeks, like maybe 5 6 weeks of doing that, and I started feeling so good. Like I was in a great mood every day. I had energy like I'd never had before. All of these job offers were coming out of everywhere to do these little gigs that I love to do. It's like one after another, and these opportunities to like pet sit at this gorgeous house with these beautiful, wonderful little animals, and to direct this musical production for a friend who like couldn't do it, and it's a thing they do every year, and then these opportunities to teach and step in and help this program and that program. Like this abundance of stuff that I love to do was coming in, and the energy and the joy and the stamina that I needed to do it all was there. And it was like, where the hell is this coming from? You know, it's months and months and months of this. Then all of a sudden we're in September. And, you know, Linda and I, we stopped even having the conversation after a few months because it just seems so silly to even give cancer any of our attention at that
Right.
point.
Right. Right.
You know, we're
Gotcha.
like, we both knew. We're like, it's gone. Like, why are we even talking about it? She gone, baby. She came in, she taught her lessons. She has left. We
Right,
thanked
right.
her. We had a party. She's gone.
Right, right.
So, like, let's move on. And then we're in September. I get the scan done. And, I never wait for them to call me. I'm always, like, logging in the portal. And I'm like, it's fine. I have an appointment in, like, 3 weeks. And I'm not going to wait 3 weeks. So just send me the results. I'll look at it. I promise not to freak out until I talk to my doctor. Just give me the report. And I normally, I obsessively check. Like I'll be on my way out of the parking lot and I'll start looking in the portal for the results.
Yeah.
Obsessively.
Like you need
And
to
this time
know.
around, I was like, I don't need to see it. Like, I already know what's on it. It doesn't even matter. So I got a notification that the results were in. And I went and I checked them, and there it was. No evidence of metastatic disease. And all of the areas that had tumors no longer indicated any tumor of any kind or any activity in any way, shape, or form that would indicate that there was cancer in my body at all.
And how long had you had that
And it's
cancer
just like,
for? Let's call that out.
I found the mass in 2008,
Yep.
went to a free health clinic and told it was nothing. In 2012, when I had good health insurance, they biopsied that mass and found out that it was already at stage 2 by the time they diagnosed it in
Right.
2012.
Right.
So 17 years
Yeah.
living with the cancer,
Right.
6 of those years with evidence of it having metastasized. So it's been terminal for 6 years.
Right.
And
And
now
then
it's completely gone.
gone. So
Gone. And I had tumors not only in the breast where it originated, but also then in my lung. There were soft tissue tumors above my abdomen. I had a chest wall tumor and a paratracheal tumor. And
wow.
every single one of them is gone.
And what had you been doing in the meantime medically? You had the inhaler for the asthma, you said.
So, yes. And then in 2022, the end of 2022, I think we talked a little bit about this last time. I'm not sure. But at the end of 2022 is when I started the first line of standardized treatment. I was kind of at a point where it was like I couldn't breathe. I hadn't started the inhalers yet because we hadn't found the asthma because the doctors were still busy telling me that my problems were all just cancer and I had to do treatment.
Jeez.
So I started I know, right? I started getting these injections in December of 2022 that it was just like a shot. Like they just inject this little like medicine ball into, the fat of your skin and, get a little shot right on the top of my ass once a month. And it
Best
shuts
place,
down
really.
my ovaries. I know, right? If you're going to get a shot, get it in the ass.
Right.
But yeah, so it shut down my ovaries because my cancer was estrogen based, and I had incredibly high levels of estrogen. And so one way to fight the cancer is to shut down the food source that is the estrogen.
Gotcha.
And so they basically put me into medical menopause. So I hit menopause like a brick wall.
Oh my God.
It was not like gradually aging into, the wonderful weird cycle that is menopause. I'm like, boom, at 100 miles an hour at menopause.
Yeah. Is it fair to call it like reverse adolescence? As a person who's not experienced it, and you're the only person I know, but no, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I guess I should ask, how was that for you then?
I hated it. It
Okay.
was awful. It
Okay.
was painful. It was uncomfortable, but it was not as bad as if I was going through chemo cycles
There.
and being sick 4 out of the days of the week and throwing up and my hair falling out. Menopause was bound to happen to me. It just happened earlier.
Gotcha.
And at first I was pissed about it. And I didn't appreciate when the oncologists were like, oh, but it's so great. You don't have to have your period anymore. At the time, I was like, well, you don't get to fucking make that decision. That shouldn't
Right.
be between you and a pill like that, and a pill you're going to shove in my ass. That should be between me and the universe that fucking made me, man. Like,
Right.
I don't appreciate stuff like that.
Yeah. That's
What were you gonna say?
fair, but at the same time, right, cancer, right? So
Yeah,
you've been
I get
going
it,
through
and I'm
that,
I'm happy now.
right?
But yeah, so
And
I
then
started
additionally,
that in
okay,
December of 2022.
nice.
Yeah, and then they wanted me to do two other things at the same time. One was like a hormonal chemotherapy, essentially, which was a daily pill, and then the other one was another type of chemotherapy, and it was like, forget about having internal organs for too much longer, but maybe we'll prevent some of that cancer that we can't see that might be there or might not be.
The
But
fuck?
you have to do it. And exactly, cancer treatment is freaking barbaric. It's
That is definitely
ridiculous.
what I've heard from people
Um,
who have had cancer. I'm like, wow, is that really where we're
yeah,
at? Because they're like, we're finding a cure. It's like, I don't know. It sounds like you might be killing a bunch of people, use them as guinea pigs. Um, I know that there have been
I
advancements,
literally,
but at the same time,
sure, but there are other ways that we can handle cancer, and not everyone who has cancer is going to be successful in that traditional treatment route. Like, yes, some people are, some people are not, a lot of people are not. Um, but they very much so try to treat it like a one size fits all overalls,
right.
like
But when cancer comes in so many
that ain't
different
it.
varieties, right? Like talking about I have
Hmm.
cancer the same as like I found mushrooms. You're just like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
cool. It might kill you, it might make you hallucinate, like it might just chill and be there. Um, right? So there is no one size fits
It
all.
might be for pizza.
Yeah, exactly. You might
What are,
that was a
Tomato.
bizarre thought. There might be tumors that you could put on pizza. Maybe we don't know.
Yeah.
Have we tried it? Um,
No.
I mean, what do
I
they
don't
do with
know.
these all these
I haven't.
biopsies anyway? Somebody should at least
Oh
go for
man.
we went there, we did
Yeah.
it. This is
Metastasize a pizza.
yeah. There's got to be a clever name to put
Oh man.
metastasize and pizza in the same word because they have the Z. But pizza
Yeah.
size. Um, to be like,
Or just like metastasa, like some
yeah,
people call pizza.
metastasize. There you go.
Metastasize.
You got the best one because you saw where the opportunity
You're welcome.
was. Yeah,
Ladies and gentlemen, my improv skills.
there you go.
You're
At
welcome.
work, yeah, for the pizza that has tumors on top, metastasize. So
Gross.
yeah, I know, right? We don't know. Cancer is
Metastasa.
what
Do,
is
do, 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 do.
yeah.
Metastasa.
Metastasize.
Do. Oh wow. Okay. We've got a theme song and
God.
everything, guys, and gotten so far off topic of what we
Woo.
were going to talk about, which was that medicine so far is just treating cancer like one size fits all, but cancer
Yeah.
is varied and depends on all sorts of circumstances. Um,
Yeah.
so turns out at the
I
end of the day,
literally,
yeah.
I was just going to say, I literally sat with a medical oncologist. And by the way, there's 15,000 types of oncologists, but I sat with a medical oncologist
Oh.
who was plugging my medical stats into a computer that was going to then spit out what the recommendation was for my treatment, right? But so many, since not one size of cancer fits all, so many of my things were outside of the ranges of what was normal. There he was like doing best fit and like the closest, like one of them, like a couple, like I think one of them wasn't even on his range, and so he just did like the next one up, and like
Wait.
with trying to like squeeze it into his little box, but then he prints out this like, you have to do this and you have to do that, and if you don't do this then there's this percentage chance that this is going to happen, and you have to XYZ or else you're going to fucking burn and die. Like, it was so dramatic and crazy. And I was like, but like, it literally isn't even actually my cancer that you just profiled.
Right,
You're
right.
treating someone else's cancer.
That's so weird that a
Why?
medical doctor would be doing that. Yeah. Uh,
A specialist, a
right.
medical oncologist. And that's how
Oh,
they do it, though.
yeah, also, right. That sounds like something that a grad student would be doing. Why are they being paid specialist wages?
That sounds like something that would be like, you used a computer to figure that out? Everybody turn your computers off. Like, no one,
Right.
no one is doing this the cheating way.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like it's like I've worked at fast food places where they have that sort of thing set up. You're like, you just follow the steps. You see up there, you look at the screen, you do the task. You look up, you do the task, right? Don't stop
And
doing the
we're not
task until the
fucking
screen is empty,
cheeseburgers. We're human
right?
beings.
Yeah, and so that's exactly what it sounds like. She's like, well, tumors, there, check, okay, but oh, it says I have to put this right up your butt. Yeah,
Well, bend over, please.
yeah, yeah, right. Oh wait, I got those wrong. Switch those around, from the Idiocracy.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Please turn around.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
Ooh, that would have been weird.
yeah, exactly.
Medicine is a joke. It's a
Ah,
joke that we call it medicine.
yeah.
It's a joke that we call it healthcare.
Also,
I, for many years, have called it health doesn't care.
yeah, no,
Yeah, I've got
yeah.
some TikToks about that. I was on TikTok for 5 minutes and complained about my healthcare.
How
But yeah,
they do
so
that, but
where do we get back on track? Where
so
were we?
you
Swinging in the air and you can't see me.
yeah
Swinging towards the sword.
you had this that she like broke you through this. You had the cancer treatment, which was
Ooh.
exactly what you were guys have been talking about, where you're like, this is how it is, this is what's gonna be, and I'm done with that.
Oh,
I'm done with being that person. And that's where like I was like, okay, cool, this is awesome. This is kind of well Robin, of course. We're probably gonna have to go for part three, because we have like we have like 40
shocker.
minutes left, like, but it's kind of like the back end of the episode. Um, so
Mhm.
right, and so like, and that's the thing. So this is a more recent thing for you, right? Like, because you said this was just a few months ago.
This was that phone call where Linda called me was like end of January.
Okay, and then when you walked out of the oncologist's office was,
I walked out of the oncologist's
oh, I'm
office.
sorry, and you got the results, of course, that you're cancer free and everything was
Oh,
gone.
when I got the results, was so I actually okay. I actually had a scan back in February. This is funny, and also bringing back in ChatGPT.
Right.
My boyfriend Sage was helping me look at my cancer results over the course of the entire time.
Okay.
What I was asking the AI to do was help build me a timeline of progression
Okay.
because I wanted to like share it. I was like, people aren't going to believe this. Like, I need to put a timeline together from start to finish and get all the science in a row so that when I share this, the inevitable skeptics who are going to try and poke holes in it will have a complete trajectory from start to finish of exactly what happened and when.
Right.
And
Nice.
it
Good
was
thinking.
ChatGPT that actually said to me, I know, right? It was ChatGPT that said, when you hit the radical remission in February, that's when blah, blah, blah. And I was like, wait, February? And it re-showed me like the results, excuse me, from the February scan where it
Interesting.
said, in the result, yeah, right, where it says like no evidence of metastatic disease. And I was like, wait a minute, how was that on my scan in February? Like, I double checked, I triple checked,
Hmm.
and then I pulled it, like I downloaded it from 2 different sources and was like, no shit, because I thought maybe they put the recent scan result somehow into the old one. I was like,
Right.
how could this have happened and no one said anything to me?
Right.
Of all the weird shit that's happened to me and like misdiagnoses and things that I wasn't or was told,
Right.
like, how do you not tell somebody that their stage 4 cancer's in remission?
Right. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, the way you do that is by having a faceless corporation hospital system buy the cancer center that I've been getting treatment at. And when the center came in and doctors got all switched around, I was assigned a new doctor, and this doctor sucked, and I was like, no way. And then I got another doctor, and I was like, she's cool. By that point, when we had established care, they must have just assumed that I had already received those results, because they didn't say anything to me about them.
Also, I mean, how could they keep charging
I
you if you were now in remission? That would mean that they, their whole
Well, I'm
function.
still in treatment.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm still in treatment, but I'm taking less treatment. And so when I went in for that appointment, when I finally saw her after the remission had come back in the scans, she even said, like, things are looking good in your scan, so I support your desire to pull back on medication, because I told her, hey, like, I'm doing so well, if there's less cancer, shouldn't I take less medicine?
Right.
And so, because at that time, when I had looked at the scans, I saw that most of the tumors had vanished. And I was fucking thrilled. Like, not all, but most of them.
Right.
But I saw something on the chart that I thought was cancer. But it was not. It was just scar tissue from the asthma. So when I looked back at that, and I looked up those words, because again, nobody talked me through those results. So I'm doing my best to kind of piece through it. And that was an area where there was cancer before. But now there is not. So I just mistaked what they said. And the wording they used did not say benign, but the definition of it was benign.
Gotcha.
So, like, I didn't know that. I just thought it was still a tumor. So I didn't realize that even that last tumor was gone in February until ChatGPT pointed all of this out to me.
And
when
really
I went in and talked to my oncologist, like, isn't it crazy?
Yeah.
Then I go in and I talk to my oncologist to follow up on the September scan. And I was like, I'm in remission. Why are you being so calm? Like, how did I not? No one told me in February. Like, how did we miss that? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, it says I'm in remission right now. Look at my scan. And we're like looking at it. She's pulling it up. She's like, okay. Yeah, that. Oh, but what about, no, okay. What about this? No, it's not. Okay, yeah, you are. And I'm like, now go back to February. And she's looking at February, and she's like, yeah, oh my God. I'm like, okay.
Oh my God.
I get excited now. And she's like, this is amazing. I'm so sorry we missed that, but at least it's great news, right? And now we know you're in sustained remission. And I was like, oh my God, this is so crazy.
It's so crazy so, like, that you have to point out to the doctor, that your cancer is on its way to being cured completely. Or,
so my best friend Charles.
Yes.
Braco.
Yes.
Who's been around for like this entire journey. When I was telling him that, he was like, I mean, who's surprised really in all the crazy times in this journey that like you've had to tell the doctor how to do their job, or like that they missed something, or like you've had to advocate for yourself or diagnose yourself.
Well, the whole time,
push
right?
for a better diagnosis for yourself. Literally the entire time I have been pushing and clawing and scratching, and to be in this place now, to be like healed of it. Like,
well, and Robin,
anybody want to say anything now?
What I want to point out is that you're being a female and being in medical and trying to get like a diagnosis is not an uncommon story, and you know that. And the thing is that, and that's why I think that you should make sure that you write your book, is because that story is so common, and I want women to be encouraged that they need to advocate for themselves and they need to be intelligent, because unfortunately they're not being looked out for. Men aren't also,
not
but
just women,
right?
But women of size.
Oh,
like,
fair.
Sorry,
also,
audience, to spoil your dreams, but my booty is huge, and I have no problems with it. But as a large woman,
right,
I cannot tell you, like, literally, the first pulmonologist that I saw when I was coughing to death and my lung had started to collapse, and my oncologist at the time was like, "You need to be compliant and take your cancer meds." She wrote me a referral to see a pulmonologist on her team who said the same thing to me. And he had the audacity to tell me that if I lost weight, I would breathe better.
But
And he's
yeah,
not the only doctor
but
that
yeah,
has
but
ever
my lung is
blamed a health
collapsed.
problem of mine on my weight.
Right, right.
Sure. Like, it doesn't matter that my lung is collapsing. What matters is that my ass is fat. But for the record, I also have an autoimmune disease that affects my thyroid, and I have hormones that prevent me from losing weight.
Right,
So eat shit.
right, right. Yeah,
Like, it's,
exactly.
you don't even know my full medical history, and for you to make
Also,
an assumption like that, all yeah, go
yeah,
ahead.
I was gonna say just genetic predisposition. Like there's bone structure and like history of like the way that we've existed outside of modern culture for a long period of time. Like survival traits was what I was trying to call out. You know, like that you were able to like be hardy
Yeah,
in harsh lands, and you come from a long line of people who
yeah.
survived that way. So anyway,
Well,
uh,
in addition to that, which is probably true, there's only so much that I can do with diet and physical activity because of this hormonal situation, which is out of whack, which has been backburnered because of the cancer for
right.
so long,
And also,
you
I
know.
think
But
probably
now
the
that, like,
collapsing
we've got the
lung, right?
cancer to control, well, yes, but like that wasn't the beginning of the weight gain.
Right.
Also, putting me into menopause was
Oh my God.
joy on
Right.
top of that, because
Right.
it's really difficult to lose weight during that as well. So, like, I already have this metabolic issue and these thyroid problems, the hormone imbalance, and I'm taking medications that affect my hormones. So, like, the system is going cuckoo cuckoo,
Mhm, mhm,
you
mhm.
know, and with the asthma and not being able to breathe, like, there's a lot of stuff going on there. But the answer to my problem was not to just lose a little bit of weight. The
Right.
answer to the problem was, let's order a pulmonary function test and find out why this bitch can't breathe.
Right. Right.
Which, maybe if he had stopped looking down my shirt at my voluptuous breasts, then he could have remembered that there was such a thing as a PFT, that he could have ordered me and got me out of his office so much faster. But instead, he just wanted to fight with me about how there was nothing they could do unless I wanted them to repeat my bronchoscopy. They could put me back under and do something exploratory and see what they could find, in his oh so belittling and judgmental tone. And I
Jeez.
was like,
Right.
no, that's cool. Fuck it. Let me get out of here. And I found a new team, and I
Right.
just dumped my primary care doctor, because now I'm back to a place where it's like, I got to look at this other stuff in my health now, like the little tiny stuff in the background that's all, you know, the stuff that got sidebarred until, well, there was no until at that time. It was
Right.
like, well, she's going to die of cancer, so fuck it all, but now I would like to look into some of these things. But anyway,
So
I don't know how we got over here.
it's okay. I just wanted to. So when you helped your doctor discover is that your cancer was in
Yeah.
remission. What was that? When was that
Yeah.
from now? What was the date,
So
season?
that was that was the 9th of September.
So just a couple of months ago.
So, like, a couple
Or
weeks before I did the last podcast.
that's okay. I got you. I got you. So we're talking, yeah, like 6 weeks. Okay, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, it was fresh
Yeah.
news. You're like, I might have some pretty exciting, and then it turns out that it wasn't new
Yeah.
news. We just didn't know about it. Okay, so that's cool.
Exactly.
You've got a new lease on life then. I know it's only been 6 weeks in the making, but like,
Woo!
yeah, what are you thinking? What's
Oh man,
the
that's a mind fuck.
yeah? What's the big plan?
Oh god. Funny. That's one of the things. I don't want to waste time and energy worrying about what the big plan is.
Fair enough. Okay, that's
Um
good to know.
I I'm not advocating for, don't ever think about anything and just, like, live life blindly from second to second.
Right.
Um,
That is
but
foolish.
I'm
But
that's absolutely insane. Like, good luck. Um, Maybe it'll work in some lifetime somewhere. It does. So good luck.
yeah, if you
Um,
could jump perfectly from
but yeah,
timeline
it's
to timeline,
woo-hoo.
yeah, you might be able to pull it off. But um,
Yeah, that'd be weird. I feel like I'd be up for it, maybe for a little bit,
I mean, you'd have to
and eventually
continue to
get tired
be
of jumping.
exceedingly lucky, yeah, and constantly putting
Yeah,
yourself in
but
trouble.
I think in a way we can jump into these other lives. Now I'm gonna get real hippy dippy woo woo.
Let's do it.
So energy, vibrations, frequencies, the frequency of positivity and good energy and love and care, those are high frequencies. The frequencies of hatred and division and everything that is dark and evil and wrong in the world, those are low vibrations, right?
Fair.
So if the multiverse is truly out there, and I personally believe in the multiverse, um, and it's all energy and vibrations and frequencies and dimensions, and so like there's got to be some neural pathway through quantum something somewhere where like the version of me who is just a little bit better than the version of me from yesterday is probably attainable. If I can just vibrate to that right frequency, I can jump into that
Right,
life.
right,
And if I can just keep elevating my frequency, if I can keep aligning my frequency with the vibrations of what I want to experience, if I can align my frequency with living in awe and in the anticipation of good news and
right,
with an abundance of opportunities to live in my purpose and to be myself,
right.
um, if I can
Yeah,
live in those vibrations,
and
I can bring them to me.
let me bring you down to earth a little bit more too, just to point out that this isn't just a concept because yeah, these things are happening, and we've talked about. I was actually at Chandler a couple weekends ago, how it's probably an infinite number of explosions that are all like layered on top of each other, that are vibrating like on each other, but separately in because there's so much space that it can be occupied. There's so much empty space. Um, so, but those things of like obtaining that higher level, the things that we can do is about mindset. It's recognizing that there is a goal that you do want and that you can have it and moving towards that thing, and then physically thinking about it, talking about it, acting on it, because that's what makes things real, right? You can say real, like it pushes us towards the future, or you can say we migrate sideways through the timelines towards the goal that we're going to have. We're marching
Hmm.
through time anyway, right? And
Yeah.
yeah, I believe that the connection between these multiverses is very, very thin. And so things like getting to cancer free after 17 years is something that's obtainable if you are aware that you can, first of all, and then you begin doing the work towards it.
And for me, it was not just saying, oh, I'm done having cancer,
Right.
but it was acknowledging to the depths at which I was holding on for dear life to my grief and my pain and my illness as the narrative of who I was and the limitations of everything that I could and could not do. But it
So
wasn't until I said, no, thank you. That's not the programming I want anymore,
right.
and did the work to scoop all of that up and out of me, which I'm still working on. But I got like the biggest chunks out. I'm scraping resin off the sides to get it really clean.
Right.
Um,
You got to
but
make sure you get a rubbing
yeah,
alcohol and salt bath inside there.
yeah.
Shake it quite a bit. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
I'm
that's
still working on it. But I
yeah.
mean, I really had to gut out what was manifesting as illness in my physical body. When I
We
let that go, when I cleared it
100%.
out, it freaking vanished.
We've been talking about this quite a bit on this show, how there's this connection between the mind and the body. Not this show, these
Hmm.
series of shows, I should say, and how it's not necessarily if you think it, you can achieve it. But again, we are a series of vibrations. We create vibrations with our thoughts and with
Hmm.
our actions and with our words, and that's what begins to shape our reality. You see it happen all the time. Why do we have a system of government the way that we do? Well, somebody thought of it, they spoke about it, they began to agree about it, and then it became a real thing. It becomes a thing that operates and sometimes doesn't operate depending on reasons, I guess. Why are some people why are some people famous, right? They perceive themselves as famous and achieving that level of fame, and they begin to make it happen until they reach that, and then everybody knows who they are. And so it's the same sort of thing. Like reality is much more malleable than we let ourselves believe, or that we're taught to believe,
Hmm.
because we see through the interference fields, the things that we run into, we see what feels like a concrete reality. But we forget that that's just a snapshot that we're interacting with.
Hmm. And I believe that we are all one energy and one entity at the end of the day,
We are, yeah, we are in
which
fact.
which means that we are no separate from one another or God than we are separated from our own two hands,
Yeah.
which is rude for people who don't have hands, and I apologize. I meant
Well,
to.
they do, just not on the one form they've inhabited for whatever reason. Um, Yeah, it might be because they wanted to make sure that they're a part of. I don't know. I can't speak from a person who doesn't have hands, but it's not it's not
Don't worry
it's
about it.
it's not just the conscious things though too. Like the whole
Yeah,
everything that we're a part
yeah.
of is actually we're all part of the trees which have consciousness. So I guess there's not
Yep.
there, but the rocks, the air, the flow of
Everything.
government, right? Yeah, like the rise and fall of nations. Like we're all a part of what this is. A bishop described it as swimming in God. Like the fish don't realize they're in water, and that's the
Hmm.
same way that we're a part of this thing. It's all around us. It's what we swim, poop, and drink. In that order.
In that specific order.
In that specific
Yeah, no,
order.
and I take that then and I say, you know, then I personally believe that I had everything to do with creating this life for myself exactly as it is. Both in a I'm creating it with my energy and in a like this was the game that I said I wanted to play when I came down here. Whatever that means. You know what I mean? But I
Yes.
agreed to come and say, yeah, I have a human experience. Get out. Let me try. Oh, I'm gonna take some of this. Oh, and I'm gonna try that. Oh, and I want that to happen. That sounds like fun. Oh, that sounds like a hot mess. Let me have three of those.
Yeah.
Picked it.
And I
You know, like
think I think
I'm
that
living this life
is
for a
what's
reason.
happening. Yeah. And it's strange, but I think we as the greater consciousness collectively do want to have these experiences in the way and shape that they
Hmm.
are. And I know there's horrible experiences and people are like, why am I choosing to be in the middle of a war zone? Why am I choosing to be
At the
assaulted?
human.
Why? Yeah, yeah. Why?
At the
Yeah,
human.
yeah. Um, Insight from that singular point of view, and so it's hard to see. But I think
Yeah.
that when it's an experience that collectively that we want to have, so that we can see it, so we can all check into that moment to see what it is in the greater eternity of everything. So we're just one who are deciding to take the hit for on behalf of, the eternal theater. Maybe I'm just a
Yeah.
performer, and that's what I believe heaven is, but.
As one conscious collective, we are creating and having every single possible human experience.
Yeah, and I believe that in the moments of eternity between the infinite number of explosions, we get to look at the things that have occurred for as long as we want to. Obviously, because time doesn't exist, um, right? And so we get to experience the opera singer, we get to experience the dog, uh,
Oh God.
right? We get to experience the sun as it exists for millions of years. Um, Right. Anyway,
Did you enjoy the movie Everything Everywhere All at Once?
I did. Did you?
I really did. Um, yeah,
So
I I kind of want to watch it again. I really enjoyed
you
that
should.
movie.
It's super fun. I don't know if you know, but I'm not very reactive to films. I like to analyze and think about them as they're happening, and not so much experience them. But that movie, and also I don't like to have public outbursts, and I don't like to have emotional outbursts in public. And I was on an airplane when I
Yeah.
saw that movie. Um, but the
Oh
movie,
no.
yeah, the movie made me laugh out loud where I just did not care. Oh, it just like it erupted out of me because it was so funny. I was just like, I got my brain to disengage, not think about where I was, be fully invested in the story, and then I was just like, they put everything on the everything bagel. Uh, it's hilarious. Once you get to that point in the movie, the joke is so funny.
That movie was brilliant.
So, and yeah, I mean,
It was brilliant and it was heartfelt.
yeah, both of those things. Fantastic
And also
performances,
a complete like
and it will really mess with your sense. Some of my favorite moments of them just sitting as rocks, having a
that
telepathic
my that
communication.
is my absolute favorite. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie is when they're rocks. And like she's trying
Homie,
to come at her and then they have
yeah.
rocks with the googly eyes. I just can't. Oh my God.
That was another one. Yeah, where I
And
couldn't help but laugh because like rocks with googly eyes, like the jokes all coming
yeah.
together.
Oh, it was such a beautiful, crazy movie.
It's yeah,
Oh
it
my
gave me
God.
like hope and inspiration that movies are still good. It's just that um there's a different type that people enjoy, and it's not the type I enjoy.
Yeah.
But people are still making the type I enjoy. So
You know what I really loved about um oh God, I'm so I can't remember his name. The father guy, main
yeah,
guy,
yeah, uh,
Data. Like I always call him Data, from the Goonies. Um, he could have had a very nihilistic view, but he
y-
chose to like he could have been like, yeah, like nothing has any meaning,
right, right.
and like there's nothing, it's all for nothing. So like why bother, and like be mean or give up or like be depressed all the time or whatever. He chose to like be like, yeah, okay, but then like let's make the meaning, you
Right.
know. And I
And
I really appreciate that viewpoint.
I would get yeah, exactly. I was going to be bringing that back in as we have about 10 minutes left. Uh it's that idea, right? Like that if you have the view of the multiverse, it's easy to be like, well, there's an infinite number of us. It's gonna suck for me. That's how it goes. But there's another viewpoint, and this is the one that I've landed on, is that in an infinite number of multiverses, you can any number of entities, any like amount of your energy can be in the same place observing it. So it's not like you take over somebody's life by doing the more successful thing. It just means more of you are doing that. Um, right. So like, there's reason to have hope because if it's a world of possibilities and it's us in setting our intention towards doing things, then we're the only thing stopping us.
Yeah. I don't think it's all for nothing.
Yeah, I think that
I think there are people that believe that there's no point to any of it, And I do think there's a point. I think there's a lot of points.
I think every single existence is the point.
Exactly.
Right? Like, I
Like
mean, that's the thing. Like, I'm
if there was no point, it wouldn't be. It's
right.
kind of like my opinion. Yeah.
When the next time I get to take a rest in, the infinite time between another explosion, I want to like sit, just like watch lives of caterpillars, like just what they do in the forest. Like that's all I want to do. Life, like be a life of a caterpillar. Um, and then, come back, of course, and then we'll do it again. Um, in whatever shape or
I'm
form.
curious about being a house cat.
You know what?
I know that sounds like I want to be a cat, but
Nope.
no, but like for real, I'm very
I do.
curious
Yeah.
about the mind and life of a house cat.
And we've been getting to see people have been putting cameras on their cats, which is awesome to see what they get up to. So we're kind of getting to experience that, but it's not the same thing as growing up
Well, it won't tell me how
thinking
it
like a cat.
feels.
Yeah, yeah. One of the big
I want
things
to know what that feels like to stretch in the sun.
there it is. I want that stretch where the belly is up and the arms are like way over the head,
Yeah.
and they just look
When I
so
do it, if
happy.
it's not as cute,
Yeah. And
it's
their
nowhere near
claws are
as
like
cute.
stretched out, kind of. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
They got no worries.
What the experience of the humans, right? Like, I want to understand what it feels like to be a cat that has humans.
Right, yeah.
What does that feel like? Like, I can't even imagine. When are,
It's
alien
like being a
or artificial
god.
robots come down? Yeah. Is
Exactly.
it,
Like
or like, is it a big pet?
that's what I think. I don't think they
Or are
understand
they,
the concept that they're owned. They believe they own you.
they
Like you're lucky that they came to look after you because you clearly don't have it going on. Um,
and
it's
I've
also it's
inhaled
also the
high
attitude of all
doses of,
Leos, which just makes them annoying. I'm sorry, I cut you.
what's the substance called? Toxoplasma
Oh,
something
toxoplasmosis.
or
Yeah.
other.
Oh, toxoplasma gondii.
That, yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I think I've inhaled enough of that to believe that the cats are in fact in charge,
Oh
and I
yeah.
do love my cat Overlord,
Oh yeah.
and I will do
No,
whatever it requires of me.
absolutely. That's
Ready.
80% of the population. There's very few of us who are not infected with toxoplasmosis. Robin, of course, is calling back to one of the oldest story calculator projects right after the Cox in Space, which is Pounce, people organized under the new cat empire, which started in San Francisco in 2012. And has not yet been completed, which is crazy to even.
And there are random copies in circulation.
There are random copies of episode 1 and 2, and there may be an episode 3, but ultimately what I want is a full rewrite, knowing what I know now, because I can make it like fucking epic. Um, like it's good. The first draft is really good. Shout out to Julia Bariza and oh man, I can't believe I'm blanking. I wasn't expecting to think of her name. Deanna Daly, who did the illustrations for Cox's Space for the Pounce comic. But also, I know a lot more now. I would love to put it together as like an animated project, like a film, because people need to know.
Ooh,
That was the
yeah.
thing about that project is that when I realized that most people were infected by toxoplasmosis and nobody seemed to care was when I was like, oh God, we are actually really infected. Um, And like, I feel like it's important for us to know because I think as a lot it explains like why society is the way that it is. It's because we have these cats who have passed this virus that like wants us to kill ourselves for them. So that's what basically the story was about. Um, and it's fun, and it's a fun story.
A good time. A lighthearted romp.
It really, I mean, it really was. I mean, as much as it is that, like, part of the story is a cartoon dream. Um, so it is a lighthearted romp
That was
with a large cat that can kill things.
when I was working. I think that's when I was working in air purification. When I was like dropping off random copies of it in different hotels around the country.
You were actually doing the Lord's
That's when I
work.
was.
Not me,
I was.
but the explaining of the truth of the
Hmm.
toxoplasmosis. Um,
Hmm.
so so weird.
Hand delivered.
We
I think autographed copies even.
I think that yeah, that was the case. I think I autographed you some copies so you could do that.
Yeah.
That
There's
that
someone
is fun.
somewhere.
Yeah, I would like to
Like
know where they
I'm
ended
sure
up.
one or two of them got thrown away, but
Yeah, like
there's a
chat.
few people somewhere who. Go ahead.
I was just, if you guys find Pounce copies, post them below. Start a Reddit or whatever
That'd
where
be
where you're
amazing.
finding them, because there is. I mean, I think I had originally 1,000 copies. They got dwindled down to I think I held on to like 300, between here, there, and everywhere in the existence of those books. So they're out there. They're at places. I'd be interested in seeing.
Like I probably dispersed like 10.
Okay, fair, fair.
I feel
Um,
like maybe 10 in random places.
yeah,
Hotels mostly.
I did drop offs in bookstores. At points, it was like basically reverse shoplifting, where you deliver instead, but they don't
Yeah.
expect the shipment. They had a barcode, but they wouldn't necessarily ring up. I hope some people in the LA area made some money on that comic book, and they're just like, I don't know, put it in inventory. I don't know where it came from. One day these comic books
Is
showed up.
this is this a false memory or did this really happen? Did we when we were driving across the country, did we put bumper stickers on people's cars when we were stopped in traffic?
Wow.
What was that? Wasn't there like a sticker or something that you had? We were like stopped for a long time in traffic and there was like a big like camper that you tried to sneak up on and like it was like a gas station or two.
I
We're leaving
I
stickers. Am I making this up or did we do
I
that?
wish that was the thing. I really don't remember having stickers at all. Um, so
Oh man, I
yeah,
swear it happened.
this sounds. I mean, I know in some timeline it did. It sounds like you've come from a timeline where that exists, so it's pleasant to meet this version
Didn't
of
come
you.
from a ton down.
Right.
Yeah, no, it was on that same fireworks trip where we pulled over at the gas station, saw random fireworks. That same drive. I'm pretty sure there was a time.
Where
They
there were
might have been
stickers.
my stickers. They might have been like truck stickers,
Yeah, that's
but
the thing.
you were the one who was putting them on cars.
You had, yeah, I think you probably had like something from a business or something. You'd gone to a convention maybe and gotten stickers.
Yeah,
I could see that being something
like
that I
I
would
had
do and
stickers.
not even remember being like, yep, let's do this.
Yeah,
Like, so, and well,
we were the worst. That's
dude,
funny.
for real, because we would like rev each other up to be like, let's go cause chaos and mischief for
Let's
fun.
go do something
Yeah,
chaotic over
right,
there.
yeah.
Those people
Uh,
would think we're having a normal day. Let's go fuck it up.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing, Robin, is people I don't know, is that we're a force of chaotic good.
Oh,
That's, like people don't realize that they're about to have a really good time, and they're not even gonna expect it, and then we'll roll up on
yeah.
them, and
Look,
then they do have a
chaos
good
is
time,
neither good or bad.
and they try to explain it what happened, and they just can't. They don't. They're like, I don't have words for what we
Just
just.
don't know.
Just like this
Words
podcast.
sometimes.
People are gonna be like, I
Dude,
don't know. It was really fun. I heard the two of them. They had a great time. I had a good time with them. Aaron Cosville was there,
This
the
was fun.
professor of comedy.
We didn't
Yeah.
get any visuals, but we did get a hot second hello.
Yeah, so it won't be a big deal. It should be totally fine. Actually, I'm gonna pair the visuals that we do tomorrow night with this audio,
Oh,
so it'll come out. Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, with the magic of
So
editing.
this, so just I'm cheated, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, until it comes out, and then you can watch the whole thing,
All
and we can laugh again.
right,
Yeah,
cool.
no, every
Be
day
amazing.
about
I can't wait. I'm excited.
the things we talked about. So that is coming out in 2 weeks from now, guys. If you want to check out more, you can at coxinspace.com. That's COX inspace.com. Get connected with our Facebook, our Discord. Join the crew, and you can become one of us. One of us. Or come on the show. Come talk to
What
us.
a breath, dude.
Yeah. Hang out with us, help support the show so you can see it sooner, that we can be you're part of the community. Comment below what you like about these shows and what you don't like about these shows. Give us a like, subscribe so you can keep up to date, and then keep yourself up to with all the playlists we've got going on. Robin, thank you so much for being here again. We will be catching up again in
My
the future.
pleasure.
I'm sure.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no, such a great thing. I want to get the update to see how things continue because this is such a big turning point. Um,
Stay tuned.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Because I think there's a lot going on with your ministry, with the book that you're writing about, advocating for yourself and then finally choosing to no longer have the illness. Guys, keep updated. We'll keep Robin coming back so you can keep hearing her story as it develops. Aaron Cosmo, thank you for being here with us, of course, and throwing in the quips as it's time and their place. Uh,
Yep.
and
I'm
thank you
just Ed
for
McMahon, honestly.
and, that's my boy. This is if as you guys have gotten this far in the podcast, thank you so much for listening because we're doing it for you guys. And we will catch you all in the next one. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.